Today, we're going to talk about hacking your cold plunge for maximum benefit. So just like the video I did about hacking your sauna, this is all about how to make it easier, more benefits and cheaper. But I want to just start off right off the bat and say, there's like a balance between benefits and ease. And so what we're going to talk about today isn't about like making it more comfortable just for comfort's sake. One of the main benefits of the cold plunge is doing something that's difficult. But what we're going to be doing is tweaking all the little aspects of getting in, being in, and getting out, and what to do in between all those so that you can, look forward to it as much as possible, get excited about it, get the most benefits for, what you're looking to do in your life. So let's dive right in. So like I said, this is going to be categorized in a few different chapters. We're going to talk about getting in. We're going to talk about what to do when you're in. We're going to talk about how to get out for the most benefit possible. And we're going to talk about safety as well. So, first of all, why cold plunge? Well, there's a lot of scientific evidence about how great it is. There's a lot of anecdotal stuff. I'll tell you what really motivates me to cold plunge, which is, you're in there, your body is doing something called thermogenesis, or creating heat from the inside. That is stimulating the production of mitochondria, which is the energy source of each of the cells. So, your cells having more energy to do all of the different functions that they do, obviously that's going to be hugely beneficial for vitality. It's also great for heart and for circulation. It reduces stress, it improves mood. I'll tell you, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about this when I talk about temperature, but when I get in the cold plunge, my mood is elevated for the rest of the day. I can sleep a little bit weird, whatever. I get in the cold plunge and I'm just good to go, out of 10 for the whole rest of the day. And that's just a really fantastic benefit. It also improves your CO2 tolerance, which is your body's ability to handle having more CO2, which there are a lot of benefits to that, which I'll talk about later as well. And, part of the thermogenesis, the mitochondria production, is hormone balancing. Your body, when you're really cold, secretes certain hormones and everything just kind of works a lot better. There's an endorphin rush, which has to do with the mood. So this is really the story that got me doing cold plunges and, getting my own setup. So there was a person who was addicted to cocaine, couldn't crack it. Then he started doing cold plunges and he said that this was just as good as cocaine and he could just drop doing cocaine. So I haven't never been a drug person, but to me that was wow, that's a really powerful, because I want longevity benefits. I also want to feel really, really good for every day so that I can show up for my family and my work and myself as the best as possible. And, since then I saw data that shows that the endorphin rush of cocaine, which I assume is what makes people want to do it, it goes up like this and then it drops, and then people want to, they have to keep going like this to maintain that. Whereas for a cold plunge, it goes up like this, but it doesn't drop, and it continues for 10, 14 hours, something like that. So really beneficial. So I have just secretly slipped in hack number 1, which is know why you're cold plunging. And, if you can really motivate yourself for all of the benefits, it might get you over that hump that makes you find excuses and justify not going in the cold plunge that day. And, that day turns into multiple days that week, and, then finally you stop doing it and stop getting the benefits because it's hard, And so if you know the benefits, and, sometimes I'll even I'll be kind of hearing my brain wanting to make justifications to not go in that day. And so I'll start reading about benefits and I'll get motivated that way. So that's hack number 1.